Okay, now I just want to find our other bass that we resampled earlier. This is the one, and I want to bring that in a couple of octaves higher so that we can still play about with that. No overlap, just the regions. So what I'm going to do now is just try this Reese bass. And what I'm going to do again is just move this zone to a new clone group, go to our groups, call one of them like Garage Clunk Bass, and then this one we'll call Reese Bass. Turn off edit all groups, remember you can do that up there as well. And this is where we can start having some fun with this Reese bass here. You can do the classic technique of, well, I think first of all I'll just put it in sampler mode, just keep it a bit cleaner. Possibly add a little bit of saturation to it, because it's always nice to get a bit more natural kind of. Warmth and distortion, you know. And then next I'm going to start playing about with the loop points, because these kind of sounds work really well when you start to set a loop on them. So say I just set up loop, I'll only set up one loop point just to keep things straightforward, and just bring it right back to the start. And then move about the start point to try and find a really interesting point of the sample to loop. Set a bit of crossfade to stop the clicking. And for me, this is one of the beautiful things about sampling, the fact that you can set these loop points and you can make these really nice kind of old school sounding modulations, almost sounding like the sound's being re-triggered, but it's quite random. It's based entirely on the playback rate of the sample and not anything to do with any kind of LFO or any other step sequence or any other kind of modulation that you've assigned. Okay, so really like working like this. Then we can move this around, find other. I do particularly like the tone of that section though. The morphology of that section is really, really nice. Another good fun thing to do with that is to add some extra pitch bend to it. Click on modulation sources for the main section here. We've got pitch bend, and if we whack that up all the way, that gives us an octave. So we can do some fun stuff with that. And then I might add a filter of some kind, maybe a high pass filter, a really steep one, maybe 4-pole. And assign the mod wheel to that. Okay, so we can either MIDI learn, or you can assign it manually, but if you want to assign manually, just go to external sources, MIDI CC 1, and that's your mod wheel. Okay, so I'm just going to remove the MIDI learn because it's doubling up. And I'll also assign the same control to the resonance, just so it causes the resonance to boost slightly at the same time, but not quite as much. Maybe take that cut-off modulation down a bit. Okay, now just to bring out the tops, I'm gonna add some kind of effects. Maybe probably just a bit more saturation or distortion. Maybe another tape saturator. Quite happy with that, but I might just add a bit of compression as well, or even a limiter, just to kind of bring out the top end, really. You know, when I take the filter up. Just messing about with the mod wheel and pitch there. In fact, I might even add a tiny bit more distortion. Let's go with the transistor. And then to finish that off, I'm just going to put a limiter back on again, okay? So limiter input gain, maybe 4 dB. And take the output down a bit just to balance it with the other bass. And then what I think I'll do finally is just add some extra control to that we can modulate, because at the moment that's completely going to override the sound that we've got. So maybe a bandpass. And I want to create like a nice whipping sound like that. So that's something that we could do using an envelope. Don't want it to go too far. Let's have a look at the actual envelope. You just click on this one here when you want to see the modulation source. Okay, that says it's assigned to cut off. That's quite nice. Might use a less steep bandpass. Might even change the envelope slightly. So we've got a bit of sustain, so we can still play with the pitch bend. We'll tweak the length of the envelope once we start to bring this sound into tune. Let's see if we can do that now.